Hello, hello. It is power supply time once again. I don't think I want that one. It's one of those knockoffs. Hello. Spiky 22, let us repair. Hello, hello. It is power supply time once again. Let's see, what is this? A 400 DR, the original PS5 power supply. Hello, console crafters. Hello, hello, hi. Let me get a schematic pulled up here. Just a moment. Where did I put them? Right there. Don't know that we're going to need it, but just in case. That's the wrong one. There we are. Welcome. K-Tronics. Cat Eye. Welcome, welcome. I have a box of power supplies here sent to me by a computer booter, David Rayner, out in sunny California. He sent me a box of them. So I'm going to try to work through some of those on this stream. Get this cable out of the way. Have not had much chance excuse me, to work on power supplies. No 12 volts. So, see if we can fix some of these and we'll get them shipped back to him. No 12 volts. Hello, hello. See who all was coming in. I noticed Andy was streaming earlier. He stopped now, though. Something rolling around in there. Come on. And there are some, like in this box, there are some slim supplies. Those are not fun to open. These I don't mind too bad. I kind of know how to go around the edge of it. Maybe I'll get that way on the slims at some point, but I don't know. It seems like they're just put together tighter. I don't know how many supplies are in this box. I'm going to guess 10 or 15 or so. I doubt we'll have time to get through all those. I'll probably tire out before then. The old 400 DR, very clean, no roaches. I think some of these he mentioned there may be some bugs. Welcome, Sloth Tech. Hello. Welcome, welcome. We are just looking at some. Andy? Oh, Andy is Swindon Electronic Repairs I was referring to. Andy with Swindon Electronic Repairs was streaming earlier. Oh, I see the problem with this one. Can you see the problem? Our PFC transformer has decided to leave the chat. Okay. Which is, it's common. That means it got dropped. either the PlayStation got dropped or the power supply got dropped when it was out. And these things have a good bit of mass to them. These things have a lot of connection points. They don't usually break loose. Pretty common for these to break loose though. Okay, let's see if we can salvage this. Yeah, it just broke it. I guess I need to get these. How do I want to do this? I definitely want to get it off of there. Hadn't even turned on my soldering iron. Because it's kind of early here. It's about 10 a.m. Not too early, I suppose. I'm getting a late start, I guess. I guess I'll use flux. I was trying to decide if I want to use my solder sucker. But if I'm going to use a solder sucker, I don't want to put flux on there because the flux gums up the solder puller. This one, Soldapult. I've had that thing for a while, but since I've already put down flux, I guess I'm committed at this point. Tom Morgan, hello. Excuse me. So I think we found the problem with this one already. That transformer busted loose. See if I can put it back together. I did not discharge this thing. I'm hoping it's discharged. I would have found out by now. It would have bit me. But I did not plug it in, of course. So it's been sitting in the box for a while. Break that one loose. This one does not want to desolder. There's always one pin that's not wanting to play. My goodness. Let it go. That one's is maybe on the ground plane. This one over here. Why am I struggling so hard with this? Well, iron shows it's at temperature. Alright, let's add a little leaded solder to it. Yeah, that pin's trying to fall out. Oh, not my tweezers, don't drop them. Alright, yeah, we need that pin. And that one just fell out, I think. It's in the process of falling out. Not sure if I'm going to need to use some. Oh, hello. Sloth Tech, are you up to it again? Sloth Tech is giving away memberships. Thank you, Sloth Tech. Remember, we talked about this. Every time I stream, you don't have to buy memberships. Thank you, but you don't have to do that, sir. That's very, very generous of you. All right, this Transformer is holding on by a thread. Oh, let's see. Let us repair. Ander. Kuitz 4. Burley King. And a Mr. Generic Homo sapien. All right, there's Ben. Craft Ben Mine. Hello, sir. I recognize a lot of these names. Welcome. I watched some of Russ's stream yesterday. I caught the start of it, then I had some errands to run, so I left. So I didn't see. I didn't see if he got the PS4s I sent him. I heard him say that they were supposed to have been delivered, that day or something. I think it was yesterday. Was that yesterday? Or was that day before? I think it was yesterday. But I never heard if he got them. So yeah, we are working on some power supplies for a computer booter. Why is that one? This is going to be a pain. I'll just push it through then. Or maybe I won't. I'm trying not to break anything more about this transformer. I'm going to have to epoxy this thing. The case of it is busted so badly. Why? What is holding you in there? Yeah, the plastic's busted pretty good. I've had to do this before. I mean the epoxying part, I'll have to do it. Which means this one won't get fixed today. I'll have to put it to the side because this epoxy is going to take 24 hours. What is going on here? Okay, I think I see what's going on. Finally it fell out. So yeah, it's which side is it? Yeah, that side. Okay, well, let's see. We get the microscope on. PS4 mainboard architecture. Airlog with that. That's interesting. That is interesting. I've done UART on PS4s a long time ago. Of course, you had to change modify one place in the NOR so that it would start spitting it out one of its UART ports. That's been a while. That is interesting, though. I meant to turn on the microscope view. That's what I was trying to do. So yeah, it's kind of shattered it up in there. But the winding is still intact there. This pin doesn't do anything. It's just more of a mounting point. And over here, that pin is just pulled out. Now this one, it pulled out and took a chunk of the plastic away, which is long since gone. So I'm going to have to epoxy that pin in there. But one of these pins, this one, you know, goes right there. And that's just the ground for the outer shielding. Why is there a hair on everything? If I can press that back in there. Come on, don't do that. Just go in there nice and straight. Try not to snap off that plastic. Could probably heat the pin up and it would, there it goes. And that, of course, soldered to that. And this is just for the outer shielding, I guess, for noise suppression. See if we can patch that. Yeah, these were from Computer Booter. My microscope is just a Amscope, and I never have been able to find a model number on it. It's just an Amscope, a generic one. I bought it off their site, I think, and I bought the arm. It came. This scope came with the heavy weighted base, which I still have somewhere in the closet. And that did all right. The only problem was when if I needed to use my preheater, I had to slide that thing way out of the way. Anyway, eventually I picked up this Amscope arm, articulating arm, and it was well worth it. Kind of gained back some space on the desktop, you know. Let me see if we can patch this. Oops. And I'll have to mix up some epoxy. But I think that's probably all that's wrong with this one. It probably didn't even blow the fuse when it. Come out here a second. My tweezers are nasty. Time for a good cleaning. Okay. Now what about that one? I'm going to have to do some digging. And I can see the wire up in there. cut this plastic a little. I should probably just switch to the full. Did it cost a lot? I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. It's been so long I bought it. I'm going to guess it was probably, you know, $400 or $500 or something like that, if that much. Before that, I did have one of those digital kind, you know, with a little screen. I still have it in a box somewhere. That's what I started with. And it worked, got the job done, but just, yeah, to me, it's just more natural to be looking in the direction of where your hands are working, you know, to be looking like I am now down through this scope, you know, at least in the general direction of where my hands are. But to each their own. Some people prefer the digital scopes. I'm trying to clean some garbage off my tweezers here, like dried flux and everything else. Okay. I would like for that to come out a little bit further. That's cracked down in there too, I see. Trying to bring it out. It's not going to though, is it? Where's my, there you go. Here's the broken post. Yeah, not enough plastic left to hold it there. I'll have to put some epoxy around it. Let's see if I can get some flux on that. Now I need to get some needle nose so as not to burn my fingers. That would be preferable. Oh, and I dropped it. So close. Come here, come here. Well, I need to bend that in, don't I? I'll add some epoxy to this once I get it where I want it. Yep, probably going to burn my fingers on this one. I just don't think I can get it where I want it with a pair of pliers. I may have to put this in a clamp or something to keep that transformer from moving every time I get it where I want, and then it just moves. Okay, one moment. Let me make this much more complicated. I'm going to get a vise here. What are we chatting about? Yeah, sloth. Yeah, I started with a. I had a little LED lighted loop. I wonder where those. I used to have a couple of those things. Yeah, and then I had the digital microscope. Had forgotten about those things. The problem here is this was a dead power supply. Apparently, it was dropped at some point because yeah, when I got in here, this is the power factor correction transformer. It has been lifted from the board. How am I going to do this? Yeah, I like that. So I'm trying to get it where I can solder it and not run away from me. And I will have to use some epoxy on it, I think, though. All right, now, in theory, it should be so much easier because it can't get away from me. I don't know if this little iron is going to have the heat that I need, but that big one's going to be a bit of an overkill, I'm afraid. The big tip that I use on, you know, HDMI mounting points and stuff like that. Let's just see if I can fit this. Oh yeah. Did I get it? I'm not sure. Look at it from a slightly different angle here or something. Yes, would like to see it a little closer in there though. This is the part where I mess it up because I won't leave it alone. You know, leave well enough alone. You can't do that. I'm going to try to bend this in a little as I heat. Oops. Yeah. And hopefully I have not shorted out any windings. I was trying not to. Okay. And we got this other side which did not break the winding. It moved a good bit. So now I'm going to have to get some epoxy down in there. Over here, and that should hold it together. All right, just a moment. Let me find some epoxy. Get you out of the way. Oh, give me my little. This is my little container of cardboard pieces that I get from the boxes of cat food, little canned cat food. There's cardboard in between the layers of cans. And so I always just salvage those and I cut it up into little squares. You know, perfect size for mixing up some two-part epoxy on. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Oops, oops. Probably too much there. Probably way too much. Don't like getting stuff on my hands. It just feels nasty. So we'll mix this up. Seems like there was something else I was going to glue the next time I mixed up some of this stuff. And now I can't remember what it was. I do want to show you guys something. I did a repair on a PS5 Slim side panel. Some of you might find interesting. I did. I was trying to explain to my wife what I did. She did kind of have a glazed over look on her face. So, why are you telling me this? But anyway, microscope. Alrighty, so don't know if I'm going to get any epoxy on that side. This side I can though. Let me do maybe some of this. other side. Ugh, what a mess. Not exactly pretty. Get down in there. Okay. I mixed up way too much stuff. Now I need to press that back in there. Yeah, kind of straight. Where does it go? Be something like that. Let me get a rubber band to put around it. And we'll set this one to the side and move on to something else. Yeah, that should work. Just couldn't really get any down on this side though. Oh, that's right, that leg. I was going to put some on that leg, wasn't I? Yeah, almost forgot. On that pin right there. All right, think that'll work? I'll probably be finding out tomorrow sometime. Let's see, oh, this is crooked, isn't it? Or is it, do I need to bend these legs? Okay, because the plastic to me looks like it's at a right angle, like it should be. These pins need to be bent a little, and I'm not going to try to do it now. Let's let that epoxy set up, and tomorrow before I mount it, I'll bend those pins. Yeah, they're definitely, you can see how it was kind of levered off of the board. Okay. All right. I think that'll work. Russ! Russ is here? Well, thank you, Russ. 8 months. Let's see. Let me switch back. Oh, I was going to show you. All right, let me set this to the side. Let me get the glue. I made way too much epoxy, but that's the way it works. Now I just toss that, and I've got plenty left. I'll cut some more up later. I got some epoxy on my workbench here. It's about time to replace the red mat. All right, I'm just looking at that. I think the pins just need to be bent. So, all right, let me set this to the side, along with its screws and its covers. Okay, get that out of the way. Okay. This is what I was going to show you, this slim I worked on. I don't remember what I did to this thing, but anyway, I put the covers back on it, and the cover would just slide around. You know, it just would not stay tight. And I got to look, and I finally figured out what keeps it tight is this little alignment pin right here, going into, I think it's that hole right there. There's another alignment pin here, which I think goes down here, but if you look, can you tell in the picture? This one is slotted, so it's got give to it. It's not gonna, it'll help line things up, but it's not gonna hold it in place. This one back here is the one that actually makes it push back into these grooves and push back that way, and so these tabs hold it. And it was gone, it was broken. So I 3D printed me one and glued it on there. See if you can see it. I call them nipples. I don't know why, but there you go. How's that look? Well, some of you guys could appreciate it. I mean, actually, I went in, I opened up FreeCAD and just I had the other one. I had another good plate to compare it to, but it was basically the same diameter as this other one. You know, it's roughly what was it? I think it's 6 millimeters in diameter and about 5 millimeters tall. So that's what I threw together in FreeCAD, exported it out, and sliced it up with my Cura software and print it. And actually, I've got a whole bag of them here. A whole bag of extra nipples. Just so the next time I see that, I can glue them on there. It's 24 hours in. These are some power buttons I made also for the Slim. And I install these sometimes in these Slims. I designed that in FreeCAD also because I was working on a Slim, and when I got through putting it all back together, I had lost the power button, so I just had to make one. And then I think I found it later on. But now sometimes I'll just swap it out with and put a white one on there because it looks cool. But it'll go right in the place of it. Anyway. Oh, hello. TFN Repairs, hello. Optimized Logic Repair. TPS 61163, that does sound familiar to me. I think I have some of those. Let me look. Is that what this is right here? And yes, I have used it on the switches as a backlight. You can read the number. But anyway, that's it. Yeah, TPS 61163AYFFR. Bingo. Oh, there you go. That's what I have used in the past. I think I have actually. Yeah, there's at least one missing out of there. Okay. Now we're going to move on to another power supply. But anyway, I was so proud of myself telling my wife about it. Yeah, the panel wouldn't stay on. So I 3D printed a little piece to put on there. A really blank look on her face. Anyway. So yeah, that will go off in that hole, which, you know, this hole has no slot to it. There's no, this one's elongated. This is just a round hole. Because when that goes in, is when it pushes back into these catches back here. Otherwise, it just kind of flops around. There we go. That one's ready to go. So, let's grab another power supply, since that one is kind of waiting on some epoxy to dry. And it does take 24 hours before I like to move them. What else do we have in this box? Ew, this looks nasty. It's a 400 FR, and the screws are out of it. He opened it up. He violated the warranty. But I got a feeling the other one will work fine once we get that PFC transformer back in there. Famous last words, but I think it will. I guess Booter's still asleep at this ungodly hour. He's out on the West Coast. He's 2 hours before me, so it'd be like 8:30 out there. I don't think he's an early riser. Okay. See some discoloration in here, like from smoke. It's kind of yellowed, like nicotine. You can kind of see traces of it in there a little. But no roaches. He did warn me though that there'd be some, could be some roaches involved in some of these supplies. Again, if you're just joining me, these came from Computer Booter. I'm suspicious of the ones in garbage bags like this. A little suspicious of those. Thank you for shipping me your roaches, David. But anyway. So, 400 FRAAA. Okay. Let's see if my meter will wake up. I had to swap out the battery in it. What's shorted? Our fuse is shorted. Fusible resistor is good, which means these MOSFETs are going to be good. No short on the output. No, just charging up some capacitors. So, do we just have a bad controller on this one? What is that? I see something. A little discoloration. Right there. What the heck happened there? Oh, that's where a roach or something went bloom, I believe. Right in there. And this one had been opened, looked like. Yeah, I think a bug kind of went pop right there. That's 400 volts in that area. Oh yeah, look at the end of that 7.5 meg resistor. I do have some of those. All right, did we pop something on this DAP053? So I did not, I'll go through the motion. I'll discharge this thing. I don't think there's anything. I think these things have been sitting in a box at his shop for probably a year or more. And they've been sitting here for about a month. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be any charge on there. There's nothing there. What are we doing? What are we chatting about? The PA 1401 22SE. What is that for? Is that for a an Xbox, or is that one of the ones for the PS5? One of the aftermarket ones. Hello, Ripper from Italy. I'm gonna try Ripperaghi. Is that how you pronounce it? Ripperaghi. I hate mispronouncing people's names. Hello, yeah, optimized logic. I saw you post a short or something. Like you were working on a ton of slim power supplies, like a lot of them. Oh, it's the light-on version for the slim. Okay, I may have one of those around here. I have not done any reverse engineering of those things. I thought about it. I mean, if there was enough interest in it, that or I thought about going back and doing some PS4 power supplies. I also noticed there's a on the slims. There's now a what is it? HR. You know, ADP 400 or 420. What is it? 400. There was the FR, a GR, and now there's an HR. And I have not opened one of those yet. I've had some pass through my hands, but I didn't feel like they were working. I did not bother opening them. But at some point, I need to open one of those up and see if they're probably not much different from the GR though. Pin 1, 2. Why does 2 not have a reading? That doesn't sound right. 3, 4 is ground. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no reading is normal. 8. Oh, I see probe marks. Look at there. I see signs a booter has been in here probing around. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 is shorted. Okay. And 2 seems to be open. Let me look at the schematic a second. Yeah, 2 should be 0.575. 16 should be 0.686. Oops, I jumped to someplace else. So yeah, we need a DAP 053. These MOSFETs don't seem to be damaged, because if they go bad, I mean, this resistor opens. It has to, because you've got 400 volts on one side and you end up with a ground on the other, a short to ground. So, and it was fine. So it probably happens the roach stepped in the wrong spot and caused 400 volts to go somewhere in here, which you know, of course this chip can't take 400 volts. Everything it gets is scaled down. I think I've talked about before, like this chain right here, this divider chain. What you end up with is 2.5 volts on pin 2. That's it. That's what it's trying to regulate. It's 2.5 volts right there on that pin. Of course, if a roach steps across this, you could end up with 400 volts there. We have a Zener right there also that could have purchased the farm, but all right, so DAP 053 for the win. Oh, Russ. Well, Russ, thank you. Russ feeling very generous today. He's gifted memberships, Retro eTech, to Optimize Logic Repair, Analyze, I can't pronounce that, Jowl Ryan Plim, I can't, there's a lot of names there. I appreciate the schematic you have gave out. Yeah, you're very welcome. Zero, the anti-hero. Yes, I'm glad people are enjoying the schematics. When I started to do one of these before, I was like, I'll never finish this. And after I finished that first one, I'm like, hey, this isn't too bad. It's a little tedious, but it's not too bad. And so I kind of got into it then and just started doing it. So all right, we need Russ. Well, thank you. And I meant to ask you, Russ. Did you get the PS4s I sent you? I watched your stream, the very beginning of it, but I missed. I think I heard you say, Russ, that it was supposed to be delivered that day. I never heard if you got it. If you got the box. Not yet? Okay. Oh, I got you. California's on fire again. That kind of... It's that time of year. Okay. Well, that's 2 PS4s in there that I think I was unable to fix. I believe one of them has a long note on it. Like if I looked at it, I put it on a note. I always typed it up and attached it to it, just so if I ever went back to it, I would know what I had done. That's very handy sometimes. Alright, DAP053T. I do have some originals, and I have the TEA 2016s also. I think I'm gonna, well, I may wait. I was gonna try to clean some of this residue off here, but I may wait until I solder this chip on. And then I'll be cleaning the flux off, so it's a good time. I'll spray it down with alcohol. We'll clean it off real well. But it's definitely got a residue of smoke on it. And I'm wondering, you know, where that burn mark is right there. Here's that divider chain. This is 395, 400 volts, 7.5 meg, 7.5 meg, and you can see right there where there's been a slight explosion. Then you come around here and you end up going through, where is that, where's the other resistor? It's here somewhere. I'm just hoping he didn't damage any of these resistors. These things, you can't really check them in circuit because that's high resistance. You'd have to lift, you know, isolate them. Then you could check them. So that one, I'm sure that one there looks like it may be damaged. And if it is, the PFC won't work right. But we'll start with the chip because we know it's bad. It's got it's got one open pin, one shorted pin. Is this DAP053s? It is. Yeah, these were sent by a computer booter. I'm not sure if you were here, Russ, when I mentioned that. He sent me a lot of broken junk. And he said basically I could keep some for myself and just send him some back, whatever I thought was fair. And he doesn't know it, but he's going to get every one of these things back. And maybe some others. I have so many power supplies. So many power supplies. I don't need any more. So he's going to get them all back. Tested and working. And I got to turn this heat down to 350. So to try and not popcorn this board. Where are my favorite tweezers? There they are. Yeah, I'm going to send them back to him. Because I don't need them. I promise I don't need them. You know what I meant to do? I usually add a little leaded solder to those pins. Using my Quan Lee soldering iron. I think it's a Quan Lee or whatever it was. I don't have any sponsors, by the way. If you've noticed, I don't push anybody's products. I've had offers. I don't know. Didn't want to. Just feels kind of cheesy. But I understand some people. If you're on YouTube, you know, that's how you make your living. Shoot, yeah, you gotta do what you can do. But this is just my hobby. I wish this is what I did full time. I do. It would be nice. But although after, you know, eventually someday when I retire, someday, then I will do it full time. As a decent side hustle, you know what I mean? It's not a bad side hustle. I would say I have done rather well. I won't complain. Clean those up a little. I may have to get rid of that glue. Sometimes that glue just you know, makes the chip float up a little bit. Where's pin 1? Just don't put it on backwards. I have done that. I have put these chips on backwards before. They get rather warm in a hurry. They don't like it. They do not like it. I'm feeling lazy. I'm going to leave the glue on there and just see if I can work around it. Going lower. Try not to popcorn this board. You know, try to be smart about using the heat. Oh, you see, I have not bought any supplies in a while. Because I've tried, I've sold some on eBay, you know, like 30 bucks. So there's no, I'm not really making any money off of it if I have to put any parts into it. And the other thing is, though, I always provide a 30-day warranty. And people will buy them. You know, they have a no power PS5, they'll buy them. It didn't fix my power, it didn't fix my PS5, and they'll just return them. So I have not sold any in a while. Not in a little while. Alrighty, let's hit that with some diode mode now. Yep. Yep. Pin 2 has a reading now. 3, 4 is ground. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 seems a little low. Not bad, but a little low. It's usually 1.15. 10, 11. I have to remember that. Something could be off there. 13, 14, 15, and 16. 16 was shorted earlier. It's fine now. Okay. So really the only thing, other question is do I bother to lift? Okay, well, I'm going to lift these 7.5 megs and check. Also I need to clean up that little burned area right there. I don't think that trace is cut. It's a little scorched where a critter was on fire. See if I can lift these things and just kind of spin them around. Because I definitely don't want my PFC voltage to go to 500 volts and, you know, blow my filter capacitors. Although I think, you know, when I bring these things up, that's why I always have a meter across those things. So I'll know in a few seconds, I'll know if it's going to run away and I'll shut it off. Oops, I broke the plastic off, the coating off the top of it. Of course, they're glued down also. I'm going to go ahead and lift it. I know it's, all right, now I'm going to clean around these things. Clean them really well. See if we can get a reading on them. Looking for 7.5 meg. Not bad. Not bad at all. How about you? Not bad at all. Okay. we're good. And we should measure, if we go to pin 2, we should measure roughly 100K to ground. And everything is well there. That's not right. That's not right. 42, 43K. That's not right. Something's up. Something is up. So there's our divider. Am I looking at the right? No, I'm looking at the wrong schematic. That's right. They're still very similar. I'll switch to this is for the DR, and it doesn't have that 750K. We need the one for the FR. So let me close that. Let me get the right, because I had the DR open because that was the previous one. Now this is an FR. And let me fix. Oh, it switched to it. Okay. The FR, just 2 7.5 megs. And she's got a 95K to ground. So usually I just look for a reading of about 100K. So if we follow this line on down here, we should see a MOSFET. I'm betting this is broke down. So yeah, I mean there's a Zener up here, but I got a feeling this cap will be fine. I have a feeling this Zener breaks down if you look at it wrong. So Q34, we're going to lift Q34 and see if that reading goes up to 95K. I bet it does. Oops, is that all getting in the, I'm sorry. Things not quite in the frame that I thought they were. So yeah, we're going to lift Q34 right here. And see if we get, a reading of 95K, 100K, something like right around pin 2. I did say it was 34. All right, where are you, Q34? Basically, what would have happened then if I'd turned, it would have just shut down. It would have just started up and shut back down again. So pin 2 is here. Right here is where it splits off. Right at this Zener. I think it goes under here, down here somewhere. Q34, which the entire top is missing out of. Yeah. So yeah, obviously 400 volts got on that line. And can't see the part number anymore. But I think you can see that 70. I think it's a 704. Yeah. Let me switch back to the schematic a moment. Yeah, the top, it would have been 704. 2 and 7002 BKT. Two and 7004 BKT. Oh, here they are. Got them. And I have gone through, how many did I bought 45 at the time, and I have gone through almost half of them, looks like. So yeah, very, very common failure. Because it is at the edge of 400 volts, it's just a few resistors away from 400 volts. And pretty common, a roach steps in just the right spot. 400 volts goes to the pin 2 of that DAP053. And it goes to this MOSFET. You may have got that Zener. Although I don't know if I've ever had that Zener go bad before. You may have gotten it. Let's see if we can get this chip off now. I could just take this off with a soldering iron. It has those two pins side by side. You could just bridge across it. There we go. That's all for you. I like to use the original exact parts. I may have a poll someday to see, as far as power supply schematics. What would you guys like to see me reverse engineer next? All right. Why did I move my meter? I need to check now. Pin 2 to ground. Do we now measure 95 k ohms? On pin 2, if I can not slip. No, 43 k ohms. We still have a problem there. Zener or the capacitor? The Zener is that ZD one right there, I believe. And there is a capacitor to ground right there. And then this is that resistor to ground. Oh, well, my brother-in-law is calling me. Let me see what he wants. Just a moment. Okay, I'll call him back. Alrighty, so I guess let's lift this Zener right here. I gotta remember to put those resistors back up there. I'm gonna forget that, and it's not gonna work, and I'm gonna wonder why. So I may have finally lost one of these Zeners. I probably have lost one before, I just don't remember it. Usually I can just desolder it like that, get my tweezers in behind it, heat it up, and I usually break the leg off. There we go. So what do I measure now on pin 2? 95K. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see it. I moved my meter out of the way. Pin 2. 95K ohms. So our Zener broke down. All right, that's a ZD or ZD, however you'd like to pronounce it, in your part of the world. And I should have some of those in my overhead bins. I see ZC. Here it is, I found it. Which I guess this is a 8.2 volt, is it? I don't know if it says. Since the part number is PDZ 8.2B, I'm going to say it's an 8.2 volt Zener. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's an 8.2 volt Zener. And I would say I have replaced a few of them before if you look how many are missing out of this strip. But I think that same Zener was used in like some previous supplies. That may be why I have it. I have so many of them. It's a common value used in some of the other ones. All right. There we go. So we lost the Zener that time. What else did we lose? Alrighty. Got her out there. Let's turn it the right way. I believe ground is going to be up. Or to the right at this point. Come on. Oh, come on. That looks like crap. Could use some flux probably. Does look a bit dry. Now that it's swimming in flux, everything goes better. I do need to make sure I turned that thing the right way, and I need to put those resistors back that I lifted. Yeah, that should be the cathode. Turn toward pin 2. So I'm going to put these resistors back. And we're probably about ready to test this supply. We need to clean it a little bit there. Those burn marks are. You go there. Oops. It moved on me. Still hotter than I thought it was. Okay. And we still make sure we still have our 95 k ohms to ground, and it didn't go back lower or something. 94.38. Okay, I think we're fine there. So we've got our Zener installed. Let me get some paper towels up here. Can you buy the power transformer with the PS5? I don't think so. TK, I don't think you can. I think they're they're custom made by Delta, the people who make this supply. They're custom made. I would be very surprised if you could find them. I mean, just about everything's on AliExpress, but yeah, it's a custom made, custom wound transformer. Get rid of that flux, maybe get rid of that yellow nastiness that's on there. Oh, another little bit of flux there. Don't like leaving these little carbon arcs in the area of that high voltage. Little tracks left behind from when it arced. I could put a little bit of a solder mask on that as well. Why not? For no added fee. There we go. Let me let that harden stuff up a little. You bet it's fixed. Well, it could be. Did not check. Fuse was not blown. Replaced the DAP053. Really, I don't think there's any problems on the cold side of the board over here because you know, not like it was lightning damage or anything where it could come in that way. It all came in from, well, all the problems are on the hot side. So there shouldn't be anything wrong with the opto isolators, I don't think, or DMP014. I don't think. Let me fire up the load here. Clean this solder mask off my little pointers, little homemade pointing tools, which I use all the time. It's funny how you end up certain homemade tools you'll use so much of. All right, that cure pretty good? I think it did. All righty. Where's my leads? I did put me a terminal on there off a PS5 main board, so I can plug it straight on there, like so. And over here, power is off right now. What is my load set on? 10 amps? I'll start off with 5 amps. Turn it on. And let me get where we can, that tray still checked good? Well, I scraped it, it looked good. There's still copper there. Okay. Well, get out of resistance mode and let's go to voltage DC. Let me get this where there's not so much glare on it. Okay, can we see everything? Load is on. I put the resistors back. Let me just dial this down. We'll bring it up kind of slow. Voltage is coming up. Current is not through the roof. Come on. Somewhere in here should take off. No, We're in shutdown. I never saw it try to kick over. Nope. I never saw it even try. Let me discharge it. So something's still holding us off, I believe. Try to get that where you can see it. Well, still didn't get it where you can see it. Okay, we're down to 2 volts. I'm just going to throw the power onto it, the voltage onto it. I want to see if it... I don't think it ever even tried to kick over, did it? No. Never tried. Okay. We still have a problem. Power is off. Let me get it discharged. We're good. Completely discharge it. So we never even tried to start, which makes me think one of the shutdown circuits is having an issue. What are we chatting about in chat? No, PFC did not even try to start. Let me think about the other shutdown components. We swapped out Q34. Oh, you know what? Q34 was blown to bits. Q34 is driven by an opto-isolator over here. So we may have popped the opto-isolator. You know, the hot side of the opto-isolator. Let's take a look. So here's Q34, driven by IC52. And there you can see the diode readings there. Let's see what's going on around IC52. Because we know that that little MOSFET got popped. It took 400 volts, so all bets are off at that point. IC52 is the one on top here. Let's see if we can get some diode readings. On the hot side here, 0.69. Well, that looks fine. That doesn't seem out of the ordinary. I was just checking resistance across it there. Not sure if that's normal. It's not shorted though, it seems. Keep that in mind though. We'll see if anything else has the top load off of it. Nothing obviously shorted there. That's a 10 ohm resistor is good. That's a 100 ohm resistor. I'm sorry, that's a 1K resistor. Anything else? Anything else on that chain? $97 k ohms. That capacitor must have charged back up a little. Yeah, I think that trace is good. We'll double check it. This one right here. That took the, that should come around over from there, under here, over here, to, and then it splits and goes over to this Zener, yeah, which is good. And it comes down here to Q34, right there. So yeah, trace seems to be intact, no problem. Let me think. What about, I don't think our PFC is shorted. No. No short on that. That's the diode. I get the feeling that there's a, ooh, is that a, I thought there was a crack in that thing. It's not, is it? I think it's just some, yeah, it's not cracked. My guess is there's a shutdown circuit here that's got us 30 ohms. Which one? Which shutdown circuit has us? Okay. I could lift this just to make sure there's nothing causing the shutdown. Where's the other feedback? The AC input over voltage protection. This one. Lightning pops this one a lot. Q33, because where it's tied back to the AC line through some resistors. What do we have across Q33? And or I could check the that diode reading, IC51 pin 2. IC51 pin 2. IC51's is that the bottom opto isolator? It is. Pin 2. It looks fine. That's ground, I think, isn't it? No, it's not. That seems fine. So what is holding us off? Do we have a problem over here? On the cold side? I'd just about be surprised. Because it just wasn't involved in this issue, you know, the roach issue happened over here. Yeah, that's the one we replaced. That's the Zener we replaced. And now, let me go back. Where's my ground? There it is. That's reading low right now. That happens. That'll be normal. Now, this is reading good now. 1.12. That looks good. I think 0.48 is normal for that. And where is Q33? There's Q34, Q31. Where's Q33? Um, where are you? It's Q31. I thought it was down here below the DAP053. Oh, here it is over here. It does not appear to be broken down, though. So I wouldn't think that's the issue. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove Q34. I'm going to remove the shutdown control. Let's see if it tries to run now. Okay, what are we chatting about? Hello there, is it Sam Samilia? Hello? Let's see, 8-bit repairs here. Some of the usual suspects. Oops, turn that on. All right, let me just kind of ease into it this time, I guess. Oh, there she goes. She started. Okay. So we got a problem with the shutdown circuitry. She's running there, running normal. So what's going on? So what did we do? We removed Q34, which is driven here. We removed this, which disables. What this does is it pulls your sample voltage to ground. That's your PFC sample voltage. You know that we replaced the Zener. That's one way of shutting down this chip is yanking this to ground. So apparently it was being turned on, but we replaced this, so this should be good, which kind of means either this opto is bad, or we have a problem over here with our DNP014. You know what I'm saying? Turning it on. Because that MOSFET's being turned on for some reason. But the DNP014 is, let me get on over there, I'm sorry. It's working to some degree because it's also what regulates the output voltage. It drives this other opto isolator for the feedback. And that part's working fine. Now it's possible that part of it could have just died, but hey, Chip, hello. You got more power supplies? Okay. You can reach me through, you can message me through Discord if you want to. And we'll see if we can deal with your power supplies. We'll deal with your rebel friends soon enough. So, what do we think? If this is good, opto isolator. It didn't check bad. Or did it? You know what I'm saying? Let me go back and look. We'll shut it down. Okay, thanks, Chip. I always appreciate power supplies. So either the DMP014 is turning it on, or it's just kind of, it's broken down and it's leaking. On the IC, which IC? You mean this one? Or on the DMP014? My money's on this one, because this would have taken the 400 volt hit. I'm not sure if you were here then, but this chip had the top load off of it. So 400 volts hit this thing. And you got a 0 ohm resistor and nothing but a hope and a prayer between you and that opto-isolator. So I'm going to guess this is broken down and leaking. Just looking at the evidence at hand. So let's swap out. I'll tell you what, I'm going to shut it down, bleed it off, and I'm going to do a resistance check across it here. And I think I read several k ohms, probably too low, but I wasn't sure. But I think it's broken down. I think it read, was it like 10 k ohms in one direction? So what we'll do is we'll check that, and then I'll swap it out, and we'll check it with a new one in there. But I'm going to guess IC52. Just following the evidence at hand. But you see, running fine right now. But no, I never leave them that way. I'm not going to leave a shutdown circuit disabled. They're there for a reason. So let's discharge it. Yeah, this discharge, it'll get it down to about 3 volts. And then I'm going to stick this pry tool across it. Take it down to 0. It'll still inch back up. It's what they call dielectric absorption. Okay. Get you out of the way, get you back up here, intertwined with everything else. Here we are. Looking at the resistance, was it IC52, which is the top one, right? If we go pin 1, pin 2, should be pin 3, pin 4. So 4 is the collector, 3 is the emitter. So if I go like positive lead on 4 and then 3, this is right across the collector emitter junction of that thing. 16, 17 k ohms, 18. I bet that's leakage. Okay. So we had about 20 k ohms, let's say. So let's get this one off of there. And we'll pop a new one in there. And there shall be much rejoicing, I think. Or a little bit of rejoicing. It is IC52, right? I hate to take out the wrong one. Yeah, IC52. IC52. See if I can take that off of there. I think I need a bigger iron for this. All right. This is how I like to remove them anyway, and then I'll just kind of pop these legs up one at a time. No need for hot air, I don't think. That's now that I think about it. While we have it in here where it can't move, this is probably what I should have done. Come on. We're going to check across this thing for resistance-wise with it totally floating here. All right. Should basically be infinite. You know, you're checking across the collector emitter junction of an unbiased NPN transistor. So if I go from here, from pin 4 to pin 3, yeah, 22 k ohms. If I go the other way, probably about the same. 9 k ohms. No. She took a hit. So yeah, that should be like infinite. Should not be getting a reading there at all. I did not test the LED. I'm pretty sure the LED, if you'd like, I can. You may be, it 400 volts hit the other side, the output side. I would imagine the LED is probably fine. Should measure about 1 volt or so. Yep. There you go. Can you see that? Yeah, 1.06. Yeah. Yep. So half of it is good. All right, now let go off the board. There we go. It was good enough to take its glue with it. 1013, 1013, 10. There we go. I have a few of those. Let's don't turn it that way. That way. All right. Oops. Sorry, iron back in the holder there. So what do we think? Is it going to work now? And I'll just, for completeness, let's check across it with it in circuit. Positive lead on pin 4 to pin 3. Well, we've got 100 k ohms. If you reverse it, you probably get a totally different reading. Yeah. So that's going to be, I think, something in parallel in the circuit there. So that's one of those, it's kind of a subtle failure, you might say. It didn't short. It didn't completely open. It went, you know, somewhere in between. It was leaky. Hopefully. So this should work, and this are, you know, this chip is bad, which I don't think so. I think this side, this cold side of the board was isolated. It never knew anything happened. Let's see, that's in there, Q34. Oh, I got to put Q34 back, don't I? Got to put Q34, I forgot about it there. Get in there. Okay, I didn't leave anything else out, did I? I don't think I did. All right. So, yep, so far, DAP053, opto isolator, MOSFET, and a Zener. Let me get where I can measure. There we go. There's that. Get our output lead. Okay. She should just start up and run. Boom. There she goes. That's a 5 amp load. We will run it up and check it. No, it's not another IC. It's all good. She's working. So yeah. There, Russ, you're still here. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. So yeah, that one's going to be good. I need to, I'm probably going to need to clean the cases a little. Just a little. You know, nothing but the best for Mr. Booter. Nothing but the best for him. Let me see if I can go ahead and let's give it a quick check. We'll run the load up on it. That's just 5 amps. 10 amps. 15. 20. 25. 30. 31 amps. Yep. She's working. And no, a PS5 will never draw 31 amps for it. It may draw half of that. I don't doubt a PS5 drawing, 15, 20 amps peak load or something. I've never tested it, so I couldn't tell you how much they draw. Not 31 amps though. Have I worked on slim PSUs? Yes, I have. 8-bit repair. Yeah, I've got I have shared the schematics to those. If you're interested in those. Like the GR. ADP 400 GR. That's a slim. An original Delta slim. Now there's some aftermarket ones I have not reverse engineered. But yeah, and in this box I've got some slims I need to work on. Don't know if it's going to be today or not. They're just a pain to get open. Not as easy as these big fat ones are. But yeah, I've worked on a few slims, not many. Thus far, I just haven't seen as many, but several I've worked on. But yeah, I've shared these schematics, everything that I've been able to produce. Let's see. How do I get that? Oh well. I'm trying to get it to slide over to the side. I guess I could just do this. Well, where is it? Grab the window. But yeah, there's your schematic for the GR. Like I said, there is an HR out that I have not looked at. It may not be much different. I'd like to open one up. I've had a couple come through here in my hands, and there was nothing wrong with them. I didn't feel like opening them up. So But at some point, I'll buy an HR and just reverse engineer it. Let me get me something to drink. I need to see call my brother-in-law back and see what he wanted. Oh, no. I haven't smoked anything in a while. Not in a while. I'm probably due. But right now, it has rained every day for a week. So it's kind of nasty outside. They removed L2 from the HR. What is L2? Oh, I see. I got you. And going into the output transformer. Got you. And no other differences? I figured they were close, but already if you look at the schematics for all these deltas, I appreciate it. I'll get one. I probably have one here now somewhere if I look through my stuff. But all these things are very similar. Deltas, anyway. The deltas are all, they just, I guess you get something that works. Why change it? They very similar in how they work. Okay. I need to shut this one down. Discharge it. And I will set it to the side because I need to do some cleanup on it. I can do that later. Just gonna clean the case up a little. That and I'll run it through some tests. And I put a sticker on it when I'm all done. I got these printed up for each one. So I can keep up, so I can just glance in the box and I can see what's in there. And I tested it what it is at 0 amps, 5, 10, and 31 amps. So I'll run it through its paces, make sure it's nice and stable. How late? You missed everything, Ethan. Everything. I've only been streaming for 2 hours. Mark? Yeah, 2 hours at that point right there. Let me put this to the side. Maybe we'll grab another one out of the box. Right, that's all good. Just going to clean up the case a little bit. What else is in the box? That looks nice. Is that a Pro? Or is that what is that? What is that? What are you? 400 GR, that's a slim supply, right? Yeah, because the Pros are 420s. What else is in the box? I'm just grab another fat one. Here's a DR. Screws are loose on it. You know, the labels, yeah, I started doing it. One thing is because I can't read, you know, that this is a DR unless I get the light just right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's black on black printing. So anyway, thought I would do that. Stick some labels on there. Make it look somewhat professional. I don't know. This is probably my last one though, because I need to call my brother-in-law back and see if he needed something. Right now, I'm just having some fun. My wife's out of town. I've got several PS5s I need to get listed. The last one I worked on over there is firmware 7.2. So that's always a nice, welcoming sight. I don't know how many supplies he sent me. I have not counted them. Oh, wait. Okay, well, this is not good. The PFC transformer is gone. The PFC coil is gone. Well, I don't have one of those just to give you. He's been robbing parts. So yeah, I need to mark this one as a parts one or something. Because yeah, I don't know any place to get those transformers. And it probably would be worth it if you did. But, do I have one? Just a second. Excuse me. I had a DR power supply that was just burned up. I don't know if I've stolen the coil, the PFC coil off of it or not, though. I don't know where it is at the moment. But I've taken several parts off of it. Because, I mean, the board was just, I've showed it before, it's totally cooked. There were actual flames in this thing. Digging. I've got to throw some stuff away. I just have to throw some stuff away. A lot of PS5. Oh, what is this? Is this it? No, it's the same one. Whatever this is has already had the coil stolen off of it. That is a FR. But I thought it was a DR that's just totally burned. And I was hanging on to it just to pull some parts off of it. I pulled a capacitor off of it. I don't know where it is at the moment. It may be at the bottom of this box. So yeah, we need a PFC coil. Let me put it back together, I guess. If I can find that, then I'll do something with this one. I'm sure it has other issues. Not a whole lot I can do without that PFC coil, actually. Get down in there. Down in there. So that one's a parts one at the moment. I will stick a note on there. Oh, he's watching me. So that one we need. I need to put I need to put a note on here. All right. Let me find another one down here. But hopefully. Well, that's not an original one. That's one of those light-on aftermarkets that he's taken parts from. I got several in garbage bags. Oh, this one has. He's got a note on that one. So, missing the screws, I see. What are we talking about? What are we chatting about in chat? Yes, I do list them at a higher price. I do indeed. And they have sold rather well. And I buy broken controllers, upgraded with the TMR sticks, and I'll bundle it all together with USB cables, power cord, HDMI, in one convenient bundle. Okay. Oh, I don't want this one. No. This is one of those. This is one of those aftermarket ones. Yeah, PA 1401 JT3. I don't have any parts for this thing. Looks like he's already stolen the. He's lifted the filter caps. Yeah, this is one of those light-ons. Which these, I'm sure these are aftermarket. I don't think these were ever original. And I don't know how they get away with putting Sony on there. I mean, I'm assuming they're aftermarket. But I don't have any information on these things. I could reverse engineer it. It'd take a little time. I don't know. Is this IC available? What happened to that IC anyway? It looks like he's tried to swap out this controller. Oh, it's just stuck on there. I was wondering why the pins weren't lined up. I think it's just thrown on there. I don't know. Are they worth repairing? You know? I just don't know. You can see where it had a little burn mark going on in there. I like the original Delta supplies. Just to me, the Delta ones are just good quality. Good quality. He's lifted those capacitors. But anyway, that might be a fun thing to do one of these days if I've got a bunch of these. Did this have screws in it? I don't think it did. I did not notice, though, that it was not a Delta. All right, I'm going to dig through this little box of goodies again. I don't understand that. There's a, it's a slim power supply. They've taped over the labeling. Why? And they've taped over it. Why? Which makes me think this is not an original, or what's in there is not original. Because they intentionally taped over that area where you can't read the label. What's down here at the bottom? Needs DNP 014 and a 1 nanofarad cap. So, did he steal a cap off of it, I wonder? What are we doing? So, we might look at this one. This is an FR that apparently, I guess computer booter worked on it. It is a 400 DR, making sure it's an FR, not DR, FR. Maybe we can knock this one out reasonably quick, except for the fact that it sounds like he's removed a capacitor. You know, I have to figure out. I think that says 1 nanofarad cap. Well, it looks like it's had a good bit of work done to it. See, this chip down here has been soldered. That's your driver for your synchronous rectifiers. Oh, and I see there's a capacitor missing right there, isn't there? I could probably pull one of those off a donor. Although that's those two in series. C10, C11 are in series. Some kind of a snubbing circuit they're using there across these things. I probably have one. So DAP053 looks to be original. And he decided it needed the DNP014, which is this little chip right over here. Maybe we'll give that some diode readings. Is that like a little hole in the top of that thing? Or is that just a little bit of a flux or something? See it right there? No, it's just a ball of flux. It looked like a hole. Let me look at that. Let me get the, oh no, this is a PS5 supply, Undergrow. I already sent his supplies back to him. This is, these came from Computer Booter. These are PS5 power supplies. Just an assortment of them that he threw in a box and sent to me. And this particular one that Booter sent to me, he has a note on it that says it's got a bad DNP. No, it says an FR. I keep opening the wrong schematics. FRs. So let me get zoomed in here. This chip here, let me add that in there. Maybe scale it down somewhere. Put it over here. Hide it away. I'm not oriented the same way. So I'll turn it. So I'll turn the chip the same way as my diagram that I made. There we go. He seemed to think that chip was bad. Which pin is pin 8 is ground on that chip, which is right over here. So pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8, 9. Yeah, that normally reads low. 10, 11, 12. 12 is reading shorted. That's not normal. It doesn't go anywhere to a test point out here, but still it shouldn't be shorted. Oh, and now it's not reading shorted, so I must have latched. Oh no, now it reads shorted again. Is that? Wait a minute, I'm on the wrong pin, aren't I? 14, 13, 12, 11. Right? 8, 9, 10, 11 is shorted. 11. 11 should not be shorted. 11 should not be shorted to ground. All right, 11 is tied to the output, so we may have a dead short on our output. This is the current sampling. This is where it reads how much current's going out, so it knows whether to shut down or not. I did not check to see if we had a short across our outputs. No, there's no short on the output. I'm across the output terminals. No, it's not shorted. So is it just that particular input of the chip is bad? 9, 10, 11. Yeah. So like 3.5 ohms to ground on that chip, on that pin 11. So he may be right. Let's get it off of there. I do have some of these. Just got a shipment in of them. Come on. Let go. There it goes. Had to get the glue to let go. Let me check again on that same point. I believe 8 was ground. 9, 10, 11. Yeah, now we're in the hundreds of K ohms. Or no, I'm sorry, it's 800 ohms, not hundreds. We're like 700, 800 ohms now. So yeah, I'd say the chip was bad. Let's put another one on there. DNP014. DNP014. These will be fixed up, checked out, and sent back to Booter. In sunny California. Oh, come on. I gotta get another grab at it. So we're missing a capacitor also. And those are high voltage capacitors. I can't just put anything in there. I gotta be rated like 1,000 volts or something. I know there's flux all up under that chip. Oops. Okay, that should be good. I'm guessing this chip is good, the DAP, the main controller, DAP053. I'm guessing, I have not looked at it. He didn't say anything about it in his note he had stuck on top. I'll give it a quick check. It looks pretty good. So, what's missing is C11. 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 Let me go back to, well, we can see the schematic over here, can't we? C11, which I think is right across the yeah, right there. 1.5 nanofarads, what I've got. Oops. Right there. There's two in series. And I want to say I bought some of those. Let me look through my parts. I want to say I'd bought some because I had to replace them. Yeah, here they are. I knew I had bought some of those. 1.5 nanofarads, size 1206, 1000 volts. Direct from China. How fortuitous. It's not quite down. Give it a little bit of a touch up here. I guess he stole that to put on another one or something. Just realized I hadn't even taken this thing out of the case. It's still sitting in the plastic case. There's one of your temperature sensors. Negative temperature coefficient resistors. Checking to see if the power factor correction transistor is overheating. What is that on the back of this capacitor? Okay. Well, let me take this out of the case. The only other area of, I guess, question is this part down here. It left a ton of flux. Looks like he's taking out these MOSFETs down here. Maybe he was testing them. Those are the ones for, they use them as diodes, synchronous rectifiers. And that chip is the controller for them. Turning them on and off at the appropriate times. Okay. What are we chatting about in chat? Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, some people. Yeah, who was Russ was and Sloth Tech were donating memberships earlier in the stream. Yeah, those. Yeah, they may have used 500 volt ones, but I'd like a little more headroom myself, so I got 1000s to replace them with. Didn't want to live on the edge, so. Well, all that's left is to see if smoke comes out of it, I guess. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Burst into flames? Let me get set up where I can meter across things. I didn't check the, the fuse may be blown, but well, we'll see. If it's totally dead, then we'll assume the fuse is blown or something. But dial that down. Load is on at 5 amps. Try to keep the metal objects away from it. Can we see everything? Oh, no, you can't see everything because I got the schematic up there. I'll get rid of it just a moment. I'll get rid of the schematic. Okay, much better. I've only tripped the breaker in this room one time that I remember. It's been a while. I have done it though. Positive, negative. All right, let's bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up slow. Can you see? It's got a heck of a glare on it, doesn't it? Keep on coming. Hey, she took off. Look at there. She works. And we have picture. I can't believe. 396. She's stable. So yeah. Booter had diagnosed it properly. One bad DNP014. And a capacitor, I think he probably just stole off to put in another one. I'm guessing that's what happened there. She works. All right. Well, I hope you liked them. I think that's all I'm going to do today. I'm going to take a break. May do some more tomorrow, maybe. Maybe do some more power supplies. I've got more I need to dig into. I've also got a PS5 here on the floor I need to work on. And I've got about 3 PS5s I need to get listed. There's things to do. So anyway, well, I'm glad thank you for all for joining me. I'm going to end the stream now and do something else for a while. But I wanted to do a stream today where I had the opportunity to. So thank you for all for coming. Thanks for all the gifted memberships by Russ and Soft Tech. That was very kind of you all. Very kind of you. So we'll do it again. We'll do it again soon. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.